Hello and welcome to a new topic, dialect. It's a complex concept, not an easy concept. To linguists, a dialect is the collection of attributes, collection of qualities, collection of characteristics, collection of elements and components. And what are those components and attributes? Phonetics, phonological, syntactic, morphological, and semantic. That make one group of speakers noticeably different from another group of speakers of the same language. So according to linguists, or from the point of view of linguists, a dialect is a difference in the pattern of the use of phonological, syntactic, and morphological. A difference in the way people use sound of the language, people use the sentence pattern of the language, that is syntactic, people use the way the formation of words and the meaning. We continue. Dialect. A dialect is a variety related to user, related to a speaker, related to the person who uses the language. It involves differences in pronunciation, vocabulary, and grammar. So the difference in dialect could be noticeable in any one of these, like those of pronunciation, vocabulary, and grammar. We continue our discussion. Dialect. A dialect is regarded as, thus we can say, a geographical variety of a language spoken in a certain area, being different in some linguistic items from other geographical varieties of the same language. We continue our discussion. Dialect, and let's understand dialects through examples. We have a sentence, John is a farmer. It is an example of a standard language because it is grammatically correct and easily understandable. But if I speak the same sentence in a different way, in a different manner, in a different style, John is a farmer. You see the word farmer and farmer, like it is considered as a dialect which is noticed in the difference of accent. That is why we say the difference is one of accent. We have another example. You should not do that. It's a complete grammatical sentence, quite comprehensible. There is no problem. Normally, learners or users of English language, they speak this sentence. Therefore, it is an example of a standard language. But the same we can say in a dialect pattern, in a dialectical way. You ought to do that. Means sometimes even you can't understand what the person is saying. But what we notice is that the difference is theory of accent, grammar, and vocabulary. In this sentence, we have some problem in understanding the sound, that is to say accent. The grammatical pattern of this sentence is also not very correct, and the use of words, that is to say vocabulary, is also not very comprehensible. So what we come to understand is that some dialects are extremely different. They are difficult to understand. They are very complex. Sometimes even you can't understand, while other dialects are less so. Other dialects are easy to understand. And this has been claimed by Donald G. Ellis from Language to Communication, Routledge, 1999. So these are some of the fundamental concepts revolving around dialect. Let's have some true or false questions. Dialect is a standard variety of language. Is it true or false? Please think yourself and come to the right judgment. In my opinion, and as the fact states, it's false. We have the second sentence. Dialect makes one speaker noticeably different from another speaker. Yes, this seems to be correct. So the answer is true. We have another question. Dialect involves difference in pronunciation only. No, this statement is false. In dialect, we don't have the difference of pronunciation only. We also have the noticeable difference in grammar and the use of vocabulary. We continue. All dialects are easy to understand. Again, this statement is false because all dialects are not easy to understand. Some of the dialects very difficult to understand, incomprehensible, as we just talked about through the examples. We have another question. John is a farmer is an example of dialect. Of course not, false. It is an example of a standard language because this statement is quite clear, understandable, and with no complication, easy to explain, easy to understand. People use this pattern all over the world. But if you say dialectical way, then there might be some change accent pattern of this sentence. That's all we have. Hope you understand the concept. Thank you and goodbye.